In the heart of Iba town, one name echoed with reverence and awe: Pastor Jerome. Every Sunday, his voice, a powerful force of nature, boomed from the altar of the House of True Dominion, the largest church for miles around. His congregation was convinced he was a vessel of extraordinary grace. Where Pastor Jerome prayed, miracles seemed to bloom. Businesses flourished, the sick were healed, and testimonies flowed like a river. "Power belongs to God," he would declare, and a thunderous "Amen" would shake the very foundations of the church. But beneath the tailored suits and the disarming gentle smile, a shadow lingered. Pastor Jerome was guarding a secret. His ascent to prominence had been suspiciously swift, almost too perfect. Before he was the man of God, he was just a young man, struggling to find his footing. He had tried his hand at everything: trading, teaching, even a stint as a clerk. But success remained stubbornly out of reach. Then, one day, he vanished from Iba town without a word. Months later, he returned, and it was as if fate itself had bowed to him. His luck had completely turned. He started a small ministry, and within a single year, he had amassed wealth, owning luxury cars and a sprawling mansion. The people of Iba, caught in the whirlwind of his success, didn't ask questions. They simply smiled and said, "Our pastor is truly blessed." Everything was going perfectly until one fateful Friday night vigil. The church was packed, the air thick with fervent prayers and the soft, rhythmic beat of drums. Suddenly, a young woman, Sister Abigail, collapsed to her knees, her body racked with uncontrollable sobs. Pastor Jerome, ever the shepherd, rushed to her side, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "What's wrong, my daughter?" he asked, his voice full of concern. Shaking and trembling, she could barely speak. "Pastor, I don't know what's happening to me. Every time you start to pray, I feel this crushing weight on my chest." "Don't worry," he said, his confidence unwavering. "The power of God will set you free tonight." The congregation erupted in applause and shouts of "Amen." Pastor Jerome raised his voice, his powerful prayers enveloping the weeping woman. But then something shifted. Midway through his prayer, Sister Abigail stopped crying. She looked up, her eyes clear and fixed directly on him. She was calm, unnervingly so. In a steady, quiet tone that cut through the entire hall, she said, "Pastor, it's not me that needs help tonight. It's you." A blanket of silence fell over the church. The drumming stopped. Every eye was on the pastor and the young woman. Jerome blinked, taken aback. What do you mean?" "You know what I mean," she replied softly, her voice carrying a profound sadness. "You've been running from something that's now running after you." Whispers rippled through the pews. Some thought it was a dramatic part of the deliverance session. Others began to shift uncomfortably, a sense of unease creeping into the holy space. Jerome tried to regain control, his voice trembling slightly as he shouted, "Silence! The devil is trying to distract us." But Sister Abigail simply offered a sad smile. "The truth can never be silenced, Pastor." Without another word, she stood up gracefully and walked out of the church, leaving a trail of stunned silence in her wake. The moment she was gone, the microphone in Jerome's hand sparked violently and went dead. The lights flickered and then died, plunging the church into momentary darkness before the backup generator kicked in. The sound engineer, flustered, swore nothing like that had ever happened before. That night, sleep was a stranger to Pastor Jerome. Sister Abigail's words echoed relentlessly in his mind. "It's you. It's you." He retreated to his private prayer room and locked the door. His eyes fell upon a small, unassuming wooden box tucked away on a shelf, a relic he had kept hidden since the days before his fame. With trembling hands, he opened it. Inside lay an old yellowed piece of paper, covered in strange, esoteric writing. A pact from a past life he had sworn to forget. A promise he had made in desperation. He sighed, a deep, weary sound that seemed to come from his very soul. "Maybe," he whispered to the empty room, "my own prayer point has finally caught up with me." By Sunday morning, the incident at the vigil was the talk of Iba town. Theories swirled. Some whispered it was a divine warning. Others dismissed it, saying the young woman was simply overwrought with emotion. When Pastor Jerome stepped up to the pulpit, the congregation noticed a change. The usual fire in his eyes was gone, replaced by a quiet, somber introspection. He looked out at the sea of faces. And when he finally spoke, his voice was measured and low. Sometimes, he began, we spend so much time praying for others that we forget to check our own hearts. I have made mistakes. I have chased fame more than I have chased faith. And tonight, I'm starting over. The church was utterly silent. That evening, there was no loud, all-night prayer marathon. Instead, Pastor Jerome quietly left the church compound. He traveled back to his hometown, a place he hadn't seen in years. The whispers said he went to make peace with his past, to untangle the knots he had tied in his youth. Months passed. In his absence, Pastor Jerome's wife took the helm of the ministry. Under her gentle guidance, the church began to grow again, but this time, the foundation was different. It was built on honesty, humility, and genuine service to the community. As for Pastor Jerome, he never stopped praying. But his prayers were no longer a performance for the crowds. They were quiet conversations, whispered not for praise or power, but for peace. And in the town of Eba, a new understanding began to take root. The people learned a valuable lesson, a truth they would pass down for years to come. Not every loud prayer is a sign of power. Sometimes it's just the echo of a lesson waiting to be learned. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If this story moved you, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next story. We'll see you again soon.